Have you ever been in a relationship with a malignant narcissist and felt like they could change you better than you could change you? For example, maybe at one time you were a really happy person, right? Really outgoing, really bubbly, excited. And after a long-term relationship with a malignant narcissist, you became someone you didn't even recognize in the mirror. You were not happy, you were depressed or angry or full of anxiety all of the time. The qualities that you once had almost feel like rumors, right? Like, did they really exist? And yet, after the relationship, let's say you now go on this healing journey and you want to get you back. And I know that feeling. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, I even have a publication. It's a self-help journal entitled I Miss Me and I Want Me Back, because I know what it's like to lose myself, to remember me and talk about me and feel as if I'm talking about a different person, because who I was not who I became. And then as I tried to get myself back, it was unbelievable how hard it was for me to change me. Well, if that resonates with you, then you're going to want to watch this video. As I continue on my own healing journey, I'm always looking at ways and things that can help us to heal more. And this past year has been really a lot of learning about subconscious programming and how our conscious mind controls, a very limited amount of our motivations, of our ability to achieve our goals. And it's really what's in our subconscious programming that is what's going to determine what we do in our life. It's even going to determine how happy we are, the relationships we have. It's all in our subconscious programming. So what I wanted to help you guys understand how malignant narcissists infiltrate your subconscious programming and how you can use this knowledge to now infiltrate your own subconscious programming to help you to get you back. So in order to understand this, we have to recognize that how our conscious mind and how our subconscious mind communicates, learns, changes, they're very different from each other, okay? So our conscious mind communicates with words, right? We can learn from reading something. We can learn from watching a video like this. We walk away and we feel like we learned something. Our subconscious mind doesn't learn with words. And this is the part that I feel like so many people are missing. And this helps a lot of my face-to-face clients, because once they learn how to override the subconscious programming, how to change it, using a language that the subconscious programming understands, well, they start to experience huge shifts in their life. Okay, so let's talk about how the narcissist does this, how they infiltrate your subconscious without realizing what they're doing. Okay, so you think about covert narcissistic abuse that's under the radar. It's really not done with words, is it? In fact, I have so many clients tell me, Michele, this was the story that I really got from my toxic parent or my spouse or my sister, whatever the relationship is. This is what, I got from the relationship, or this is the story that I tell myself because of it. But they never outright said this. It was implied. It was implied, and, it became a part of the way I saw things. So I want to talk about that. So covert narcissistic abuse is not done with words as much as implications that provoke your emotions. For example, I knew of one client whose spouse would get very angry every time she would read a book or do something that was literally just for her. But he never said, I hate to see you reading. Or he never said, you're not allowed to read. What he would do is every time she would have that book, he would give her that look of contempt. And what happens when you get that look of contempt? You get an emotion in you. This uh-oh feeling comes up. You're like, what happened? going on? Why is he or she looking at me like that? And then what happens? You get another feeling. You feel uncomfortable, right? Then maybe you feel guilty because maybe there's an implication that you should be doing something else instead of, taking 5 minutes for yourself. So then guilt starts coming up. And notice, with one look, 3 different emotions come up automatically. So let's say that person puts the book down and starts to cater to whatever would be convenient for the malignant narcissist. What happens? The malignant narcissist might even say something nice or let up on the negative look. Maybe they don't go so far as a compliment, but at least there's a let up on that look of contempt. So there's an alleviation of, that emotion that was emanating from them. And to the victim of narcissistic abuse, they feel a tiny bit better. Like, oh, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So there's an alleviation of some of those feelings. So their feelings shift a little bit again. Let's use another covert example where the malignant narcissist doesn't use words, at least not obviously anyway. So for example, let's say you're with your spouse and they never compliment you, right? Never. And you try to get a compliment, you're going out, you got all dressed up, you're looking beautiful, you want them to give you a compliment, and you're asking and you're kind of fishing. You're like, does this look nice? Do I look okay? How do I look? How's my hair? And they're just really cold and distant. And what happens there? Now you feel hurt. You feel rejected, right? You don't feel appreciated. Now you go out and there's a friend of yours that you're talking to, and your spouse or significant other walks up and starts complimenting from head to toe this other person. They notice that person's hair, they notice the outfit, they are just full of compliments. And what does your friend do? She turns to you and says, you have like the best spouse in the world. He's amazing. You're so fortunate. Little does she know that that behavior is reserved for other people and used to hurt that person. As that spouse is complimenting, what is happening inside of you? You are feeling rejected, inadequate, angry, sad, hurt, all of these emotions. And the covert narcissist didn't say not one negative word. My point is, the way that they infiltrate your subconscious programming is by provoking your feelings. And then being consistent enough that you begin to attach a feeling with the same behavior. In the case with the person with the book, as soon as she goes to read a book, all of those negative feelings start coming up. There's an attachment in her brain and she loses all motivation to read. Years down the road, if that relationship ends and she thinks back on the person she was, she doesn't even like to read anymore. Why? Because her sensations towards it have changed. The person that was never complimented, but had her friend complimented head to toe, what happens with her? She starts little by little feeling extremely unattractive, right? Because she notices that her spouse can compliment others. He or she just doesn't compliment, them. Their self-esteem starts eroding. Their view of their own attractiveness starts getting twisted. I can't tell you how many of my clients will ask me, Michele, be honest. You're not going to hurt my feelings, but am I unattractive? Am I ugly? I can't believe how many will ask me that question, and it's because of behaviors like that. That little by little, they even lose the ability to evaluate how they are. And it was all done without obvious words, but by provoking emotions in a person consistently, daily, over and over. So then that person comes out of that relationship. Now they want to change themselves, but they do it with their conscious mind. They do it with words and with affirmations. And they're telling themselves on a logical level, I want this, or I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want. And guess what? The subconscious mind doesn't understand that language. The subconscious mind doesn't understand what you don't want. Communicating with your subconscious mind like that is as effective as getting off a plane in New York City, getting a cab and saying, I don't want to go to Times Square. You know, make sure you don't take me to Times Square. That cab's not going to move. Person's going to look behind and like, hello, what do you want? And so understanding that the subconscious mind doesn't communicate with words like that, and it doesn't communicate with the negative, what you don't want. It only knows what you do, and it only knows the present moment. And the most powerful way to penetrate it is the same way the narcissist did, by provoking your sensations. How do you do that? Again, using the examples that I gave with the book, with reading. Sometimes a person like that wants to get back into reading will pick up a book and they feel nothing, or they feel negative, or they just feel unmotivated, right? So in order for them to get back whatever they lost, and they want to provoke their emotions, one of the most powerful ways to do this, and if you're watching this video and you really, really want this to help you, okay? If you've lost pieces of yourself that you want to get back, pause for a moment, get a piece of paper, and write the emotions that you used to feel before the relationship, or the emotions that you feel you don't have anymore because of the relationship. Write them down. The next thing that's helpful to do is think of a memory in which you felt that emotion. In other words, you have to bring it back up in your body. You have to bring up the emotional signature of that emotion in your body so that your body remembers it. Feel it again. And then look for opportunities that allow you to feel it in your life once again. So for the person that loved to read, it would be thinking back about, why did I love to read? What was the first book that I ever read? How did I feel? What was my favorite book? What was the book that made my emotions just, all come bubbling out? Get in touch with those emotions from the past. Not just once, but bring up those memories over and over. And then you're kind of getting your body ready to be able to bring back those emotional states again. The main point is that our subconscious mind changes through the sensations in our body. So if we used to be very happy, and now we're not, we can't say, I want to be happy. I'm learning about being happy. I'm telling myself to be happy. We can't just do that alone. Not if you've been through trauma or any kind of emotional trauma. We kind of have to reverse engineer it, and we have to provoke the emotion in our body. What would that be like? Sometimes it's about being silly. It's about being ridiculous. In my group coaching, we talked about this with a few individuals that were in that class, and one of the women wanted to wake up happy. She didn't like the emotional state that she woke up in. It wasn't who she was before that relationship. But no matter how hard she wanted to, on a conscious level, she couldn't get there. So what we did was we found ways to provoke it in her. Jump up, click her heels, make a silly sound, something that would cause a pattern interrupt in whatever emotion she was in and remind her of what she wanted to be in. By provoking the emotion in your body, whatever emotion you feel you lost and you want back, the more you provoke it in your body on a daily basis, the faster you'll get it back. But if you don't provoke the sensations in your body, changing your subconscious programming is going to be really, really hard. Okay? So I challenge you to do that, and let me know how it goes in the comment section below.